Right now, they were entering into three very special moments.
The first one will be a drama that performed by the Youth Mission Team Australia that portrays, listen up, that portrays our daily struggle to find Jesus in all that we do.
And then we'll be hearing from a man who is larger than life, an ex-London gangster who is here with us, Mr. John Pridmore.
But first, guys, we want to hear it from the girls. We want to hear it from the feminine soul, the soul of Mary. So we have a Sydney born and bred young woman of God who has just overcome so many struggles in her life to get here today to share with you. She has an economics law degree and has travelled the whole country with youth ministry. I'd really like you, as a pilgrim, to put your hands together for another pilgrim in faith, Joe Mascarenas.
Hi everybody, how are you? My name is Joanna and I'm from Sydney. I'm 25 years old. It is really good to be here. In my family, there's my mummy, my younger sister Carla, and my brother Alan. And when I was growing up, it was my dad that meant the world to me. Unlike normal kids that call their father dad or daddy, to me, my dad was always called Freddie, and everybody knew him as Freddie. And when I was young, I was only 3 or 4 years old, I would wait every day for him to come home because Freddie and I were really close and he was just so important to me every single day. And there was one Saturday afternoon and it was a rainy Saturday and we were going to a work function of my dad. And so we went to a river in Sydney called Wiseman's Ferry. And when we were there, us kids were really bored. And we were just bored because everyone was with their mates and they were doing work stuff. And so we said to Freddie, can you take us horse riding because we're so bored here? And Freddie said to us, no, I can't take you horse riding, but I'll take you canoeing. So even though all his workmates were talking work and doing other stuff, Freddie took me, my brother, and my sister in a canoe. And we went in this canoe around the river, and I still remember it because Freddie was full of joy and he was saluting us as the captain of the ship. He was excited, and I was so happy just to be in this canoe with him. And we went around the river once, and it was so much fun, but my mum called for me and my brother to get our lunch. So she said to Freddie, come, let them go, they have to get their lunch. I was really disappointed because I hated leaving him, and I didn't want to leave him with my younger sister because I was jealous that they would get close. You know, I always was so possessive over him. And Freddie said to me, he said, Joanna, I'll come back. Just wait there and have your lunch, do what Mummy says, and I'll come back for you, and we'll go around the river again. So I didn't want to, but I got my lunch and I sat on the end of the pier and I watched Freddie and Carla, my sister, and they went around the river. They went all the way around, okay? And I couldn't see them anymore. They went behind an island. And the next thing that happened was the canoe overturned and hit the water. Freddie hitting his head on a rock and my little sister grabbing onto him because they couldn't really swim. And he said to her, darling, don't hold so tight. So she started to doggy paddle. And then what happened next was my father drowned and another person swam in the water and got my little sister and he put her on an island. So I could see my little sister, but I couldn't see my dad. I couldn't see Freddie. And to me, that was my whole world crashing down. I was only 5 years old, but it was like everything all at once wasn't good anymore. At his funeral, they were lowering him into the grave in the ground, And I ran to the very edge saying, Freddie, don't go, Freddie, don't go, Freddie, don't go. And they had to hold me back because I knew that if Freddie was in the hole in the ground, that's where I wanted to be. But the thing was, I couldn't go there. And I remember going back home and as a young child and as a teenager, just feeling really angry on the inside at God. On the outside, I seemed fine. I smiled, I laughed, and I pretended that I was all cool, you know. But on the inside, I was just so hurt and angry at God for taking my father away. And I couldn't believe that God would do something like that to me. And I remembered when Freddie was alive, he would argue with my mum about going to church and how he would say to her he didn't want to go. And so as a young teenager, I thought, well, if Freddie is in hell with God, without God, if Freddie is in hell, I would rather be there than in heaven with God. You know, that's how much I loved Freddie and how angry I was at God.